All right, let's have a look here what the Ford's doing. It's 7 o'clock. Well, how about that? 100%. 327. And as you can see, apparently the temperature didn't affect. Let's have a look at the temperature. Yep, it's 25 degrees outside. It's been sitting outside all whole time. So it's interesting. The new software 4.1.1 apparently maybe has solved the temperature issue. Hello and good morning. Just coming out to the lightning. It's 24 degrees Fahrenheit. It's been on charge all night. I did let it charge to 100%, which generally I'm not a wild fan of. And we will just temporarily put the wall connector here where the cable's stiff. All right, now what we're going to do this morning, let's jump in. We'll get an idea of what's happening in here. It's cold. Seats are cold. I have not pre-warmed anything. Navigation or the range shows 313, which is down 10 from when I looked at it before. What our plan is today to get out on Highway 74 and drive up and down and see what kind of range we have. We look at our test bottle of water. It is not frozen, which indicates there's a certain amount of, there's a little ice here. You can see it. So there must be a certain amount of thermal inertia left in the battery from yesterday, giving off some of its heat. We have additional water here. It does not appear to be frozen. Of course, it might be. No, it doesn't look that way. Anyway, so we're starting it up for the first time this morning. Autofocus gets dorked up here. Okay, it says 313 miles. I'm going to restart the trip meter. And we're going to take it for a ride. But let's set some of the conditions. I'm going to set the cabin down here to 65, okay? Make sure that we're at 65 across the board. Next, I am going to turn on my seat heater. I figure that's really the only heat that I need. I still have my jacket on, and I will keep it on until maybe it warms up a little bit here. But I don't want to waste any of the propulsion energy in heat other than the basic stuff. Outside temperature currently, as you can see, is 25 degrees read by the vehicle. It's still showing 313, so we'll see how this goes. All right, we're burning daylight. It is 8:34 a.m. Now let's go. Okay, I lied. I did turn on the steering wheel. It's cold. So I have the steering wheel and the seat heat on, and the cabin set to 65. I set the tire pressure to 42 per the door, and at this temperature we're at 39 and one's at 38. Yes, there is the infamous gauges that have not changed, hot or cold or anything. They're still centered. I don't get it. Come on there, Ford, let's hook them up. Just getting on Highway 74 here through all the crappy road. And we're going to go up and down Highway 74 here, about 30 miles up, 30 miles back, until we get to a state of charge that requires me to charge it. I've just enabled Blue Cruise and the speed set 73, okay? And now I'm going to run it up to 75. That'll be 5 over the speed limit. Traffic is light out on Highway 74. And and the truck is on hands-free. We're going to get off here at Cliffside in 1 mile. So this is our exit. This is the Cliffside exit. There's a big coal-fired Duke Energy power plant here, and it's about 30 miles down the road where I got on. We'll do a turnaround here. If we look at the specs, it's 27.5 miles. Time's been about 30 minutes, 1.5 miles per kilowatt hour. And the mileage on the GOM, I can see it here, is 244 miles on the GOM. There you go, 89%. And we're getting back on going to the west here now. We'll set this to 75 and move on down the road. Sun's coming up nice. It's 30 degrees Fahrenheit here. The tires are back up to 42 PSI all the way around. Let's do an energy check. 214 on the GOM, 80% in the battery, 1.5 miles per kilowatt hour used. We've been on the road for 45 minutes and 46 miles of travel. We'll be heading back to the east on Highway 74. I just turned off the steering wheel heat here, and 79% and about 210 miles. Have a look at the radio antenna. Look at how much wind resistance it's showing. I can't help to think that it's a terrible waste of power here in the car, only because of the drag it creates. I think if you're looking to get maybe a little more range, I think I would go with a rubber ducky style antenna and ditch this big one. We're off the highway at our turnaround point near the town of Columbus, showing 75% in the battery, 195 miles of predicted range. And if we look at the odometer, we're at 56 miles. 1.4 miles per kilowatt hour. We'll get back on here in a minute. Just getting back on the highway here. 75%, 195 miles of GOM, and the odometer says 56.9. Back on the highway now, and Blue Cruise is having a fit. Doesn't want to engage. I'm into lane keeping here now. Come on there. What are you waiting for? There we go. Now it's happy. Took a while. The outside temperature is 30 degrees. It's a heat wave. And of course the time is 9:29. Yeah, I'm not thinking Blue Cruise likes to drive very much in the sun here. It's handed it back to me now. Back to lane keeping. Not sure what's going on. There, now it likes it again. Gonna have to watch this. 70% on the battery. Prediction is 181 miles and 31 degrees. Just went over a small bridge over a creek, and now I'm driving again. I don't know. I'd have to say maybe Blue Cruise is having trouble with this sun, as you can see coming in. Just coming into the city of Forest City, and we'll go past that and turn around at exit 189 here on Highway 74. That's our turnaround point, which happens to be the exit for a place called Cliffside. All right, let's do an energy check here. About ready to get off and turn around. 60%, 149 on the GOM. It's 9:49, and let's see, what else do I need to do? Oh yeah, 83.4 miles of road driven. All right, off at exit 189. It is 9:50. It is 60% on the battery and 147 on the GOM, and we've driven 84.8 miles. We're back on the highway headed west, and there's Blue Cruise just snapped on. It's hard to see, and here we go. 59%, 145 on the GOM, 951, and 86 miles here on the odometer. 32 degrees, and looky there. The meters haven't moved all day. What's up with that? We just turned over to 50% on the battery. It looks like 119 miles of range. It is 10:05, and we've driven 103.3 miles so far. Blue Cruise dropped off again. It's not liking something here. Not sure. We're just about ready to get off the highway and loop around in the city of Columbus up here. This is our turnaround point. Seems every time I get behind a diesel truck, I get a good whiff of diesel fumes. Ford, it might be a good thing to up the quality of the filters in the trucks. I gotta say, in my Tesla, I don't smell anything, behind trucks or not. It must be a better quality filter, and I'm pretty sure, Ford, you guys can arrange to put a better quality filter in the truck here. All right, we're going to go around a few roundabouts and get back on. And it's 45% in the battery, 102 miles. It's 10:14, and we've driven 113.7. All right, and on we go. 102 miles on the GOM, 45 in the battery. It's 10:15, and 114.2 miles getting on this leg. This is our fifth leg. We cut this leg a little short when we got on, but it's okay. It's sun's up now. It's almost in the south. That's where all the shadows are. And we're on hands-free when it wants to be here. We just turned over 40%, 89 miles of range. It's 10:22, and it is 33 degrees outside. Just tooling on our fifth leg here. All right, we're at 30%, 60 miles of GOM range. It's 10:37 and 35 degrees. And we're just about ready to get off the highway here and do our turnaround at exit 189. All right, 29 in the battery, 58 on the GOM. It's 10:38 and 35 degrees here at our exit. We're going to turn around and get back on the highway. We're back on the highway. We've got 29%, 57 miles, 10:39, and 35 degrees. And by the way, it's 143 and a half miles driven. 50 miles of predicted range, and 149 miles. We'll be turning around in about 30 or so. Just turned over 20%, 37 miles on the GOM. It's 10:53, and we've driven 163. I set the truck here to warn me at 30 miles, and there's the warning. We're just getting off here in Columbus. It's our turnaround point. Looks like 14%, 24 miles of range. It's 11:02. It's 170.5 miles driven. All right, this should be the sixth leg. What we're going to do is drive it down to maybe 5% and then make our way home after that. Just getting on. 21 miles of range, 174 miles driven, 1.5 miles per kilowatt hour. It's been 2 hours and 32 minutes. We're at 12% at 11:06. It's been an interesting test so far. I've got 19 miles of GOM range, 176 miles driven. It's been 2 hours and 35 minutes now. And I'm going to drive up probably, 6 or 8 miles and then turn around and make my way back off the same on-ramp overpass that I got on. Now, what's interesting just on the surface is that it predicted 320 some miles. And I'm guessing by the time I get home, it'll be 185 miles, maybe 10 more from here. And this is where I got on at Highway 9, just going by the on-ramp. So it's going to be interesting. I'll figure out the percentage difference. Uh-oh, it's whining. Chargers unreachable, nearest charger outside of range. Then why tell me? That's a dumb thing. Anyway, I'm going to go up to the next exit and we'll flip around here. And that will drain most of the energy out of the battery here. So stay tuned. Yep, driving range is low. Reduce climate use for more range. Well, it's at 65. I think we're okay. Anyway, we're going to get off up here at the Tryon International Equestrian Center. And then we'll flip it around and head back. Still says 15 miles of range, 9% on the battery. I don't want to tempt fate now, but I think it's been pretty reliable. In my Tesla, when I have 10% range, I still have 30 miles to go. In here, I should have 30 miles to go at 10%, but maybe not. Looks like it's almost 2 to 1 in usage, so I think it's probably only 5% or about 15 miles. That's okay. We'll flip around here and head back down the interstate, get off at Highway 9 and take the same route we took to get up onto Highway 74. All right, well, let's have a look here. It looks like the power limit, those are the dashed lines there above the 70, is an indication that the battery is low. And of course we know. If I look over here, it says 9%. Should be 30 miles at 10%, but it's okay. I'll take it easy. And we're heading home now. I think it's probably 4 or 5 miles home, maybe more. But the power limits definitely indicates that we have limited amount of power should I step on it. This is normal in electric cars. So here we go, heading that way. We're just on the back roads, heading to the house. The truck is happy, it's just not real happy. Still predicting 12 miles with 8% in the battery. And it's 36 degrees outside. Driven 184 miles. I suspect it'll be right around 188, maybe a little more. We'll see. Nice day, other than it's very cold. I made it home. Yes, I did. See that? Where it says 55 over here. That is the power limit. That's what these little dots are right here. which means that you can accelerate, but you can only accelerate up to where that 55 is from 0 there. And of course, regen is the bottom, which indicates that, according to this, pretty much near 0 miles, you're not going to be able to go very far. We averaged 1.5 miles per kilowatt hour. The trip was 2 hours and 50 minutes. I went 188.7 miles total. If we look over here on the charging screen, that we ended up with a whopping 5% in the battery, and there you go. Oh, one last thing. It is still 35 degrees here. What does all this mean? Quick math, however, is 188 miles driven, 321 miles predicted. I'm guessing we're around 28 to 30% off of the actual miles driven today. I drove at 75 miles an hour, and as we know from other range tests I've done on Teslas and my Mach-E, 75 miles an hour is not the most efficient. If I was to get all of that 320 out, I bet you if I drove at 55 miles an hour, I would get closer to that 320 miles. I have learned that in both my Tesla and the Mach-E, and then now the Lightning truck. However, it is a function of physics. The faster you go, the more air you push, the harder it is, and so therefore you're going to use more energy in the process. But I would safely say that if it was 25 degrees and you went pedal to the metal at 75 miles an hour like I did, you can expect about 180 miles of range, plus or minus, depends. Slow down a little bit to 70, you probably get over 200 and so on. It's not necessarily a linear scale, but you can generally eyeball it or do a swag. You know what that means, right? Scientific wild A guess. There you go. All right, well, if you like today's video, give me a like, and if you would, please subscribe. You know, I'd certainly appreciate it. More tests coming here in the Lightning. Thanks for watching. I'll look for you again, and take care.